Welcome. Dear listener, I invite you to open your heart as we journey together into a restful night. I speak softly. The room feels still. A lamp throws a warm circle of light. Outside, the world slows. Inside, the breath becomes the anchor. I begin by asking you to make a space. Shift under the covers. Let arms rest heavy against the sheets. Feel the bed supporting every part of you. Notice the weight of the body where it meets the mattress. Let one part at a time release. Allow the scalp to soften. Let the jaw loosen. Let the shoulders drop. Uncurl the toes. With each out-breath, imagine a little more letting go. I read to you from the Bible tonight, not to teach at length, but to bring peace. I choose words that calm. I speak them gently, not as a lecture. The passages I share are like a lamp in a dark room. They reveal safe paths. They remind the heart of a mercy that arrives like dawn. Quietly, inevitably, there is an image I like to carry with me. Picture a shepherd tending a small flock on a late, still evening. The sheep move slowly onto softened ground. They find a hollow that holds warmth. The sky bends low and protects. A single star watches. The shepherd's voice is not loud. It is steady. It calls them home, and they come, trusting. That trust is what I invite now. Trust does not require knowing every step. Trust asks only for presence. Rest in that presence. I paraphrase a psalm that I often linger over. It paints a picture of green grass and quiet waters. It speaks of a guide who leads with goodness. Hearing it now is like feeling a cool hand on a fevered forehead. The language is simple. It comforts without demanding answers. I let the sentences fall slowly. Each phrase lands like a soft footstep. The heart eases when it touches the rhythm of that steady care. There is another line I bring near. A gentle promise that invites the weary to lay down burdens. It does not call for perfection. It offers a quiet exchange weight for rest. Imagine setting a heavy sack on the floor at your feet. In place of its weight, a soft pillow appears. The pillow does not judge. It simply holds. Let that exchange happen here. Feel the shoulders sink a little more. Let the chest expand and relax. My voice travels through the room like a steady stream. I do not rush. I let words sit. Between them, I leave a pause for you to breathe. In that pause, feel the mercy passing through like light through a window. Mercy is not loud. It is a soft presence that bends down to lift what is small and burdened. Hope grows in these small mercies. Hope is a small flame that needs no grand fanfare to shine. Listen as I speak about gentleness. Christ's gentleness is like rain that falls on hard soil. It does not batter. It seeps. It softens edges over time. The rain finds cracks and fills them over and over. The ground yields. So it is with hearts. A gentle word can seep into the tight places and slowly loosen what has clenched around fear. Let the gentleness find you now. Breathe with me. Inhale slowly. Notice the cool air entering the nostrils. Follow it as it spreads under the ribs. Feel the lungs expand. Hold for a soft second. Exhale fully. Let the breath carry away the tightness. Do this a few times. The rhythm steadies the mind. When the mind steadies, peace settles like evening dew. There is a practical calm that comes from naming things without stirring worry. Name one small trouble you carry. Say it in your mind plainly. Then imagine placing it on a stone. Picture the stone by a quiet stream. The current moves slowly past. The stone holds the burden, and the water keeps moving. You do not have to carry it in this moment. Trust that the weight can sit there while you rest. This is a simple practice of letting go, supported by prayer and presence. I read another passage about being wrapped in protection. It speaks of a refuge that is close, not distant. The language feels like a house with a warm hearth. It offers shelter from bitter winds. Imagine the door closing gently against the night. Inside, there is safety and a quiet hum of life. The roof is steady. The walls are kind. Rest here a while. You are held, sometimes. Sleep resists. Thoughts come like wind-blown leaves. When they arrive, do not fight them hard. Watch them as if from a distance. Let them float by. Imagine each thought as a small leaf on the surface of a pond. It drifts, and then it is gone. Return to the breath. Return to the steady cadence of a voice that reads consoling lines. Or team. The pond stills. Mercy also means forgiving the self. If regret stirs under the covers, permit a moment to breathe into it. Speak a short phrase in your mind. Mercy is present. Let it rest there like a towel over a sore place. Soften the edges of regret with that towel. The act is gentle. It does not erase the past. It reorients the heart toward tenderness. Now, I keep the tone tender because the night listens differently. In the dark, nothing needs to be proved. The language of assurance can be simple. You are seen. You are known. You are cared for. These are not lectures. These are offerings. Receive them like warm tea. Let them travel down and spread warmth inside the chest. Imagine garden dusk. Lanterns rise along a path. The scent of flowers is faint and calming. A bench waits beneath a wide oak. Sit there in the mind for a breath or two. The sky holds soft colors, a gentle hush pulse. The world feels larger than trouble. This view is not escape. It is a reminder of perspective. Even a small pause can shift what feels urgent into what feels manageable. I read slowly about a promise that steadies my own heart often. It speaks of a steadiness that will not fail. The wording is not complex. It rests on the simple fact of a care that remains. When nights feel long and attention flits from worry to worry, this steadiness is an anchor. Focus on that anchor for a few moments. Picture a rope thrown out into a calm sea. The rope holds. It does not fray in the dark. As the minutes move, notice how the body answers. Muscles let go in small waves. Thoughts slow. The rhythm of sleep begins to approach like a soft song. There is no rush to arrive. Sleep can be patient. It will come in its own time. In this waiting, allow yourself kindness. Speak a gentle word to the self. Thank the body for its work today. Rest comes easier when gratitude loosens clenched hands. I end this opening with a short blessing. I do not speak in ornate language. I offer simple wishes: rest, healing, peace. Think of these as small seeds planted in the soil of the night. They will take whatever time they need to grow. The promise of Christ is that mercy meets the night. Hope is never far. Keep breathing slowly. Keep the heart soft. When you are ready, let your eyes close. Keep me here, reading paragraphs that calm and remind. I will continue to read passages that bring assurance, mercy, and hope in the next part. Tonight, let the first gentle words guide you towards sleep. If slumber does not come right away, that is fine. Stay with the breath. Stay with the quiet. I remain with you. A steady voice in the dim, turning the pages slowly, caring for the smallness of your rest. Rest. Now, let the night do its quiet work. Tomorrow comes with new light and fresh mercy. For tonight, hold on to the calm promise of being seen and held. Breathe. Settle. Sleep will follow in its own gentle time. As the lamp lowers its glow, I prepare the space for rest. I move slowly. I tuck the corners of the blanket just so the room breathes with a softer light. Curtains hang still. Outside, night folds itself over the street. Inside, the small circle of light feels like a safe place to gather thoughts. I ask you to make one simple adjustment. Turn off the screens. Let the hum of devices sleep. Place the phone face down. Let the day's noise sit on a table and not in the chest. These small actions help the mind settle. They tell the rest of the body that this time is different. I open the Bible with a careful hand. The pages whisper against each other. The cover is warm from my palm. I do not rush. I let the book find its rest in my lap. The words will come slowly. Each sentence will be like a footstep along a quiet corridor. My voice will follow, calm and even. I begin by noticing the body in new ways. Shift so the spine feels supported. Tuck a pillow under the knees, if that helps. Ease the head into the pillow. Feel the sheet glide across the skin. Where tension gathers, breathe into that place. Picture a soft heat easing the tightness. Let the shoulders slide out of the ears. Let the neck lengthen like a gentle stretch. Now I name a simple image to hold. Imagine a small harbor at dusk. Boats sit still against the water. A single lantern swings, but does not call out. The water mirrors the sky. Each ripple is minor and soon stills. The harbor keeps the boats safe. It does not demand that they race. It gives a place to lie down and wait for dawn. I read a few lines that speak of rest. I do not recite them like law. I let them fall as invitations. They tell of shelter and steady care. They speak of a care that draws near to those who are worn. They promise a quiet place to lay down burdens. The wording is plain and tender. It meets the ears like a hand on a shoulder. Breathe with me now. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for a gentle 2. Exhale for 6 counts. Repeat this slow cycle twice more. Each breath lengthens a little. Each exhale releases a little more. In these slow breaths, the heart finds its own quiet rhythm. The rhythm reminds the mind that urgency can rest. I guide the body down a little further. Start at the temples. Ease the forehead like a curtain smoothing over a window. Let the eyelids grow heavier. Let the jaw unclench. Soften the mouth. Let the tongue rest in the lower part of the mouth. Move attention to the neck and shoulders. Feel them melt like wax. Let the arms become warm and light. Let the hands rest with palms down or up. Whatever feels like giving. Shift to the chest and belly. Feel the breath move like a small tide. Each rise and fall is enough. Let the belly soften. Let tension in the ribcage loosen. Move the calm into the hips. Allow them to widen slightly. To accept support, let the thighs surrender. Let the knees fold. Let the calves and ankles release. Bring attention to the heels. Imagine a gentle weight lifting, then settling. The whole body rests like a vessel laid in still water. I offer another picture. Think of an old lighthouse on a quiet coast. Its beam turns slowly. It does not hurry. It watches. In the dark, it is a steady mark. Ships find it, and slow. The light does not banish all shadow. It simply guides. In the same way, the quiet words I read do not erase fear. They guide toward peace. I place, in the imagination, a small cloth bundle beside the bed. This bundle holds one worry or one name. It need not carry everything. Put that single concern inside. Seal it with a soft knot. Set it down beside you. Trust that in the morning the bundle will still be there. But now it rests. For tonight, the hands are free to receive rest. I read a passage about being cradled, not as proof, but as comfort. It pictures arms that do not let go. The language is simple. It sits like a blanket across the shoulders. Let that image warm the chest. Feel secure enough to close the eyes more fully. Let the breathing become even and less noticed. If memories come, do not chase them. Watch them like birds passing outside a window. Notice their color. Notice their shape. Let them fly on. Return gently to the breath each time. The practice is not about force. It is about gentle redirection. Over and over. Place the attention back where the breath lives. I pause between phrases to leave room for silence. These gaps are part of the listening. In silence, the words have space to sink. In silence, the heart responds. Allow a moment of empty sound. Hold still. Notice how the darkness presses soft and steady around the edges of thought. Mercy is a slow thing. It often arrives in tiny ways. It may be a memory of a small kindness. It may be a soft voice from long ago. Let that kindness sit beside you now. Let it be a small light on the nightstand. The memory does not solve everything. It simply shows that the world can be gentler than the mind sometimes believes. I invite a short practice of thanksgiving, not to list achievements, but to recognize simple gifts. Think of one small thing that went well today. It could be a cup of warm tea, a kind word, a moment of breath. Hold that thing in the mind for a few breaths. Let it warm the chest like a tiny ember. Gratitude does not erase sorrow. It shows that both can exist together without fighting. As I read, the room keeps its steady hush. The house makes small settling sounds. Un distant car passe quietly. The clock moves without insistence. These sounds are not intrusions. They are part of the night's texture. Let them be companions rather than disturbances. Before I close this section, I offer a brief, simple blessing. I wish rest that is deep and gentle. I ask for healing that comes in small, patient ways. I leave a space for hope to be present. Light and unforced, these are quiet hopes. Like seeds placed in soft soil, they need time and darkness to begin. I lower the book and breathe with you a moment more. The pages close with a muted sound. I keep my voice soft. I plan to continue in the next part. For now, hold a slow breath. Let the harbor and lighthouse images stay close. Let the bundle remain by the bed. Sleep can come when it is ready. I remain with you, reading gently, ensuring the night feels like shelter. Rest now in this shaped calm. Let the next inhalation be a little softer. Let the next exhalation carry you deeper into quiet. I will return with more words that steady and soothe. For this moment, keep the eyes closed and the heart open to mercy. I settle deeper into the quiet. The room narrows to the hush of a night that listens. God's love hums like a cradle song. Isaiah 2:6-3 rests in the mind as a steady promise, perfect peace, for those who keep their thoughts on what is true and trust in Him. I say that slowly. Let the words sit soft in the chest. Tonight I invite a gentle work. It is not grand. It is a small unfastening. It is finding forgiveness. Begin by making the hands comfortable. Lay them on the belly or by the sides. Feel how the breath moves under the ribs. With each in-breath, gather one small thing that presses. With each out-breath, let part of it go. This is the rhythm that leads toward release. I speak now about forgiveness as a practice of letting be. It is not sudden, and it does not pretend the wound never happened. It names hurt and then loosens the grip. Picture a soft blanket being folded. Each fold is careful. Each fold is not a hiding, but an ordering. Forgiveness folds memories into a gentler shape. If a face or a memory comes up now, do not be startled. Let it come close, long enough to place a hand there in thought. Tell it quietly that it is seen. Say nothing loud. Acknowledge the ache. Naming the ache is the first small kindness. I read to you from the scriptures in a simple voice. The passages I choose remind the heart that mercy meets mistakes. The Bible continually points toward reconciliation. It speaks of a heart softened by grace. Hear these lines as a lullaby that steadies the restless parts. The words do not judge. They invite healing. Forgiveness begins with a single choice. It is not necessarily an action toward another person at first. It can be a private decision to stop carrying the weight. Imagine setting a small lantern on a windowsill. The lantern does not remove the night. It simply brings a calm, steady light that helps the eyes see differently. This light is compassion for the self. Try a short breathing exercise now. Inhale for 3 counts and imagine drawing in a pale light. Let that light rest behind the sternum. Hold for 1 gentle count. Exhale for 5 counts and imagine the air carrying away a thin ribbon of tension. Repeat twice more. With each cycle, notice how the chest grows a little more spacious. Breathe mercy into the places that feel cramped. Next, practice a quiet naming. Choose 1 regret or 1 hurt to place at the edge of awareness. Say its name in the mind. Do not dwell on every detail. Place the name on a small wooden bench in the inner room of the heart. Picture closing the door of that room a crack. Not shut. The bench holds the weight. This is not forgetting. This is choosing a different posture toward the memory. I read again. Softly. About a way of living that loosens grudges. The words encourage kindness and patience. They suggest that when forgiveness is given, the giver finds room to breathe. This is a mutual gentleness. Let that thought move through the body like warmth rising in the palms. Forgiving another can feel like walking across a thin footbridge. Each step matters. Balance is kept by small acts. It might be a quiet prayer for the one who caused pain. It might be a wish for their peace. These small acts do not erase what happened. They do create a safer path for sleep. If direct forgiveness seems impossible at this hour, practice forgiveness toward the self. Many nights hold a long list of should-haves and could-haves. Lay down that list in stages. Fold 1 page at a time. Tell yourself this: a life is lived forward, and mercy walks beside the steps. Allow the heart to accept that forgiveness can arrive slowly. Imagine now a willow tree by a gentle inlet. Its long branches sweep the surface of the water. The leaves do not cling to the past. They brush and let go. Each movement is a small release. See the self beneath the tree. Let the branches brush over. Feel the motion as a comforting stroke. Each brush loosens a knot. The willow does not hurry. Neither should the heart. Apply a small ritual, if that helps. Place the hands over the heart. Breathe slowly. Whisper a brief intention in the mind. May mercy begin here. Then move the hands outward, as if placing the warmth onto those who need it most, including the self. This outward motion is a tangible way to let forgiveness travel from the inside to the outside of the body. I remind you of what Scripture leans toward: a peace that steadies. Trust is the companion that makes that peace possible. Isaiah's promise links a steady mind with perfect calm. Do not demand that the mind be flawless. Instead, tend its focus gently. Bring attention back to the breath. Each return is a tiny practice of trust. Be patient with interruptions. Thoughts arrive like moths to a light. Gently guide them back. Each redirection trains the mind to rest. When the thought of hurt returns, do not follow it into long corridors. Place it briefly on that inner bench. Return to the willow image, or to the slow breathing, or team. The bench feels less crowded. Pay attention to sensations. Forgiveness often shows up first, as a small loosening in the jaw, a softening behind the eyes, a warmth in the chest. Notice without pushing. Accept these small signs as signs of progress. They need no explanation. They simply are. Consider a short moment of gratitude sewn into this practice. Think of a single act of grace received, no matter how small. It could be a steady hand, a kind phrase, a moment of quiet. Let that memory be thread. Use it to stitch a tiny seam in the fabric of the night. Gratitude does not compete with sorrow. It sits beside it and makes the cloth stronger. The voice reads another gentle line from the Bible that I like to carry to bed. It speaks of tenderness toward the weak and of lifting the low. Take this as encouragement, not command. Let it be a soft nudge toward mercy. Mercy need not be dramatic. It thrives in small, repeated acts. If sleep feels near, let forgiveness become part of the drifting. Imagine the air around the bed, scented faintly with lavender. Each inhalation brings calm. Each exhalation lets go. See the willow leaves turning in a slow rhythm. Hear, distantly, a lullaby repeating a simple phrase of love. Allow the mind to fold the day into that melody. If wakefulness persists, remain kind. Often nights are not empty, but fertile. The work of forgiving can continue in the slow hours. Keep the breathing steady. Keep the images soft. Keep the little lantern of compassion lit near the bed. It will not burn out quickly. Before I close this section, I offer a short, simple blessing in a way that feels like a gentle benediction. May forgiveness find a place in the chest. May mercy rest light upon the head. May the promise of perfect peace settle the mind that trusts. Hold the thought like a quiet bead of light on the tongue of the heart. When ready, let the eyes close. Let the hands relax. Keep the breath even. I will remain here, reading softly. As a companion in this small unfastening, the night is a safe space for tender work. Finding forgiveness does not need to be finished before sleep. It only needs a beginning. Rest now with this small opening. Trust that mercy moves slowly but surely. Sleep will come in its own time. I continue with more gentle words in the next part. For now, breathe. Forgive a little, and let the night do the rest. I sit with the book on my knee. The pages breathe with the room. My voice is slow. Tonight I dwell on grace. Tonight I dwell on the gentle truth that wrongs need not hold the heart forever. I begin by lighting a small image in the mind. Picture, a river in a quiet valley. The water moves without hurry. Leaves and small branches float on its surface. There is a place where the river widens and the current softens. Tiny things drift out of sight there. They do not vanish by force. They are carried by the steady motion of the stream. This is how grace moves through a life. It carries what is heavy until the distance grows wide. I read aloud into the dark, but not as a lesson. The lines I share remind the ear that transgressions can be separated from the soul. The psalm I lean on speaks of removing wrongs to a place so far they no longer cast a long shadow. Imagine a shoreline where footprints fade as the tide comes in. Each step becomes a ghost on the sand until none remain. Mercy works like that tide. It does not erase memory. It softens its mark. Begin a soft practice with me. Place one small image of regret into a cupped hand of the imagination. Hold it for a slow breath. Say nothing aloud. Feel the weight On the out-breath, imagine the palm opening and the regret slipping like a small stone into the river. Watch the ripple. Watch the sound fade. Return the attention to the breath. Let the room be the witness to this gentle letting go. Grace arrives often as an unexpected warmth. It may settle in the hollow between ribs. It may feel like heat behind the eyes. Notice these small sensations when they appear. They do not need explanation. They require only acceptance. I encourage a quiet attention to the body. Let it show where mercy begins to live. Forgiveness and grace are not the same act. Grace comes first. Like mist, forgiveness follows. Like footsteps on a soft path, accepting grace is a passive admission. Allow the mist to touch the face. Then, if it feels right, step forward and place a hand on the path of forgiveness. Both actions calm the night. I offer a small ritual. Reach inward and name one thing that lingers. Keep the naming short and gentle. No searching or replaying. Simply choose a single line or image. Hold it a moment. Then breathe and imagine a wide sky opening above you. Toss the name thing into that sky as if releasing a small lantern. Watch it rise until it is a speck of light. Trust that the space above is large enough to hold many lights. The sky does not judge what it holds. It only keeps. Sometimes, accepting grace feels impossible. Resistance is not a failure. It is a sign that something still needs time. Treat resistance like a closed fist. Hold it with soft patience. Do not pry it open. Instead, let gentle words rest against the skin of the palm until the fingers begin to loosen on their own. Mercy does its work over time. Pressure does not speed it. I read another simple phrase that guides me. It pictures a distance between the offender and the offense so vast that the memory does not lead the heart as it once did. Picture walking along a road at dawn. The road lengthens, and the weight you carry becomes smaller in proportion to the horizon. The horizon never rushes you. It only grows. Trust that the distance can come gradually. Consider a quiet exchange now. Place a hand over the heart and breathe with slow intent. With each inhale, allow a sense of being cared for to enter. With each exhale, allow a piece of past shame to loosen. Continue for several breaths. The rhythm itself becomes a small sacrament. It does little things repeatedly. Those little things add up. Notice the language used in the night. Gentle. Short words are close like blankets. Avoid harsh commands. Replace a stern inner phrase with something kinder. Where the mind says should, try the softer may. Where it says must, try might. Language shapes how mercy feels. Let language lean toward tenderness. There is room here for memory without judgment. Some memories require attention, not avoidance. If a memory needs tending, picture placing it on a table under a lamp. Look at it clearly for a slow moment. Then cover the table gently and leave it for another time. This is stewardship of memory. It honors what happened without allowing it to rule the bedside. I read passages that speak of mercy with care. They do not call for immediate transformation. They invite a posture of receiving. Imagine a person standing at a doorway, tired and wet, and someone inside opens a blanket and wraps them. The wrapping is grace. The door does not list faults. It offers warmth. Rest in that image for a moment. If guilt presses at the throat, practice a short act of naming and release. Name a single thing that you regret. Whisper a brief phrase of recognition in the mind. Then let the phrase sink into the floor of the room. Picture a soft carpet absorbing it. It does not annihilate the remembrance. It simply takes its edge off. Return to the breath and the room's steady quiet. I invite attention to small mercies that arrive daily. A neighbor's small kindness. A warm meal. A song that eases the chest. These are not grand proofs, but they are real. Let them collect in a small box of the imagination. Open the box now and look at one item. Let it be a counterweight to a heavier thought. Mercy often comes disguised as ordinary things. Grace also shows up in limits. Sometimes the best kindness is a boundary. A restful night can be a boundary against endless rumination. Tuck one persistent worry into a box labeled for tomorrow. Place the box in a corner of the mind. Do not slam the lid. Close it slowly. Trust that tomorrow's light will be kinder for this rest. I speak softly about trust. Trust is not naive. It is a decision to lean toward the steady goodness rather than the loud accusations. Think of trust as a small step onto a bridge with a strong railing. The bridge may sway, but the railing holds. Take that step. Let the railing be the promise that wrongdoing can be met with a mercy that moves it away. Let the imagination offer one final scene before sleep. Imagine a morning orchard. Long rows of trees stand in the blue of a new day. Dew sits on leaves, and a simple breeze makes the rose whisper. Walk slowly between the trees. With each step the ground feels firmer. With each breath the air tastes slightly sweeter. At the end of the row, a gate opens onto a wide meadow. Beyond the gate, the valley stretches open and free. Step through, carrying nothing more than the soft knowledge that distance from wrongs is possible. I end with a short benediction for the night. May grace arrive softly. May regret loosen its grip a little more. May peace settle where worry once lived. These are small wishes offered without hurry. Accept them as cloth placed over the shoulders. Close the eyes if that feels right. Rest the hands. Keep the breathing slow and even. I remain here, reading into the hush, as a companion in this gentle work. When morning comes, there will be new light and new chances. For now, let grace be the quiet companion until sleep arrives. I settle into the soft hush. A low lamp glows at the bedside. My Bible rests on my knees. I keep my voice small. I keep my pace slow. In this quiet hour, I remember Ephesians 2:8-9, which teaches that through God's grace, I am saved and loved, not through my deeds but His mercy. I say that slowly. I let the sentence lay across the chest like a warm hand. The thought is simple. It is enough. I invite a gentle attention to the breath. Breathe in through the nose for 3 easy counts. Hold for 1. Let the air leave on a long, soft sigh for 5 counts. Repeat this cycle 2 more times. Each breath narrows the space between thought and rest. The heart follows the rhythm without being asked to hurry. I read aloud in a tone meant for sleep. My words are not lessons. They are soft light in a dark room. I speak of grace as a gift that arrives without transaction. I speak of mercy as a steady presence that meets weakness with warmth. The phrases are plain. They do not need weighing. They land quietly. Picture, if it feels right. A wide field at evening. The grass bends low under a forgiving wind. The sky keeps a slow color. No hurry presses on the horizon. A single stone sits by a path. The stone is smooth. Sit with it in the imagination. Let its cool surface steady the hands of thought. Nothing about this scene demands action. It simply invites calm. Allow the body to follow the breath. Start with the forehead. Smooth the small lines there, as if running a palm across silk. Loosen the tongue. Set the teeth apart by a small measure. Let the shoulders descend like curtains falling. I name these movements one by one, not to command, but to guide the body back to its natural ease. I bring the message of grace nearer. Think of a simple cloth laid across the shoulders. The cloth is not heavy. It is soft. It is given without strings. It does not tally deed. It covers. It warms. It rests. Let that cloth be the image of mercy resting over the night. It does not force change. It offers quiet shelter. Try a short visualization now. Imagine lying on a gentle hill that curves like the back of a sleeping animal. The sky above is wide and kind. Clouds move slowly, like thoughts in a calm mind. Each cloud passes without a struggle. When a thought comes, let it be a cloud. Watch it move and let it go out of sight. Return attention to the breath and to the light touch on the chest. I guide attention to a single, small truth. Mercy is not a prize to earn. It is a presence to receive. Let the idea sit without argument. No lists are needed. No defenses are required. The heart can rest in being accepted. The mind can set down the ledger of oughts and maybes for a season. If a name or worry arises now, hold it gently in the imagination. Do not pluck at it. Offer it a place on a wide, flat stone beside the hill. The stone takes the weight. It does not criticize. Leave the thought there for a breath or two. Visualize the wind circling the stone and smoothing the edges of the worry until it sits smaller and quieter. I speak of being loved, not because of achievements, but because of a deeper mercy. This love is a steady element in the air of the room. It does not depend on performance. It rests like a presence that does not tally hours or mistakes. Receiving this is a quiet practice. It asks for little more than openness. Now, shift the attention to the hands. Notice any tension in the fingers. Soften them. Let the hands be warm and heavy. Imagine that each exhale sends a thin stream of light down through the palms and into the mattress. The light does not need to do anything dramatic. It simply travels and softens. I offer a brief counting practice to the breath. Inhale and count 1 silently. Exhale and count 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 4. Continue until the counting fades and the breath becomes the watcher of itself. Counting is a small anchor. It keeps the mind from wandering into tasks that belong to a different hour. There is a gentle pardon in rest. Sleep itself is a mercy. It is permission for the body and the mind to pause. Let rest be accepted as part of the grace that has already arrived. Do not demand productivity from this night. Allow silence to be its own kind of work. Consider a short habit for hard nights. Place the right hand over the heart. Keep the left hand over the belly. Feel the slight rise and fall of breath beneath them. With each inhalation, imagine a pale warmth entering the chest. With each exhalation, imagine that warmth spreading out through the limbs. This movement is a small, repeated blessing. I read another little phrase, not as doctrine but as balm. It says that grace precedes action. It comes first. Actions are responses, not the currency that buys love. Let this order settle. The relief inside it is like finding a place to sit after a long walk. If worry persists despite the practices, name one small task that can wait until morning. Place it on the edge of the mind like a pebble on a windowsill. Promise it attention at a set time tomorrow. Then let the pebble remain in place without tugging. The promise is a simple container for care. It allows the present to soften. I remind myself and the listener that mercy is patient. It does not need dramatic proofs. It takes time to alter habits. Tiny shifts compound. A single night of gentleness begins a new small pattern. Allow that beginning to matter. Now imagine a lamp made of clear glass. Inside it, a tiny flame burns steady and mild. That flame is not blazing. It does not demand. It only provides enough light to see the path by moon. Place this lamp in the mind beside the bed. Let its glow be the measure of mercy, small, constant, sufficient. As the body grows heavier, let the final images be simple. Think of a slow brook far below, heard in the distance. Hear the faint water without straining to make out every sound. Let the sound be a rhythm that matches the breath. Each ripple is a soft pulse. Each pulse is rest. I close this meditation with a short, clear blessing. May grace be received tonight. May mercy lay its soft hand upon the brow. May the heart rest in the knowledge that love comes without calculation. Let these wishes be like small seeds placed in the dark soil of sleep. They need only time. If the eyes are ready, close them now. Keep the lamp low. Keep the breath even. I stay here reading, steady and calm. I will bring more words in the next section. For this hour, let the quiet do its quiet work. Let peace be the companion that walks beside sleep. I close my eyes and let the promise of Philippians 4:7 fill my thoughts. God's peace, beyond understanding, will guard my heart and mind tonight. Tonight I tell a story about second chances. I speak softly. The room listens. My voice moves slowly like water over stones. A second chance is small at first. It looks like a crack in a favorite cup that gets mended with gold. It looks like a faded photograph that someone carefully restores. It looks like a seed that has waited under snow and now begins to swell. These images are quiet. They do not shout. They soothe. I open the Bible on my lap. I read a few short lines about new things beginning. The words come like rain after a long drought. They do not demand an answer. They simply suggest that life can change its course. Hear them like a steady bell in the distance. Let them settle. I place a small image before you. Imagine an old watch that has stopped. Its face is scratched. Its hands are still. A careful hand opens the back. Tiny gears are cleaned. A spring is set. Slowly, the watch ticks again. Time resumes. The second chance is not a miracle that erases the damage. It is the patient work that restores purpose. That is all it needs to begin. I breathe with you. Inhale slow. Hold for one smooth beat. Exhale longer. Ich cykle drovs calm closer. With every breath, the mind makes room. With each exhale, something tight within loosens. Sometimes, a second chance comes dressed in small things. A voicemail returned. A bowl of soup brought to a doorstep. A letter written and placed on a table. These acts are quiet repairs. They do not fix everything at once. They show that something is willing to be tried again. I tell of a small garden by a window. Someone trims the vine that had grown wild. Pruned stems lie on the ground like small sleepings. The gardener does not regret the work. They gently tie new shoots to a soft stake. A broken stem gets tucked back into soil. A thin line of water meets the roots. The plant wakes slowly. This is the shape of a second chance. It is deliberate. It is gentle. I read a short passage that speaks of mercy like morning dew. The lines suggest that each day is a new page. They do not say that the past never happened. They do say that morning is available. Let that thought be like a lamp on the bedside. It is steady. It is enough. If regret presses tonight, try a small act with me. Take a piece of paper in your mind. Write one brief line on it. No more. Fold the paper once. Place it gently in the palm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Imagine laying the paper on a table at dawn. Do not toss it. Do not hide it. Set it where the light touches. Promise yourself to look at it then, with clearer eyes. That promise is a kind of second chance. It allows tomorrow to begin without erasing today. I speak about forgiveness again, but with a new angle. Forgiveness prepares the soil for seeds that otherwise would not sprout. It is not a commandment like a heavy stone. It is a thin layer of compost that makes room when mercy is present. Small growth can occur. Allow this image to rest in the mind, tiny green pushing through dark earth, soft and steady. No loud announcements, just life making the most of what is available. There is a quiet courage in trying again. It does not look like a trumpet. It looks like a light footstep. It looks like someone setting a mug down again after a long pause. Courage in these nights is often the choice to stand up in the mind and say yes to a tiny forward motion. It might be writing a short apology. It might be asking for help. It might be letting go of a plan that no longer fits. Each small yes gathers strength. I keep my language spare. I read a few verses about being made new. The words say that old things can pass, and new things can arrive. They do not promise instant reversal. They promise presence along the way. Hear them as a hand on the shoulder in the dark. If sleep is slow, imagine a pottery studio under a gentle lamp. A potter takes a cracked bowl. With careful hands, the maker smooths the rim. Clay fills a thin break. The bowl is not the same as before. It is mended and precious in its newness. This mending is a second chance that honors the past and makes room for future use. Keep this bowl in the mind. It holds the small mercy of being used again. I invite a short breathing practice tied to these images. Inhale and imagine drawing a thin, silver thread into the chest. Let it rest there like a stitch. Exhale and imagine that stitch being pulled gently across a tear. Bringing edges closer. Repeat twice. Do not hurry. The motion is calm and slow. Each stitch is a small repair. Each breath repeats the care. Remember that second chances do not require perfection to begin. They need a start. A start can be a single word, a practiced kindness, a retied shoelace. Allow the mind to lower expectations tonight. Expect simple acts. Give space to gentle attempts. I read another short line from Scripture about sowing and reaping. The line is not heavy. It speaks of seasons. Some seasons receive more sunlight. Some need longer rest. The rhythm of seasons helps the heart understand pacing. Trust that some things take a season of waiting before bearing fruit. If a face or a place returns to thought, do not chase it. Observe the feeling it brings. Offer the feeling a soft name. Maybe call it longing. Maybe call it hope. Place the name on a small shelf in the mind. Look at it without pulling at it. Let the shelf hold things for a while. There is healing in small routines. Make one tonight if it helps. Perhaps fold a clean cloth in the imagination. Smooth its corners. Lay it over a small worry like a bandage. Do this gently. Repeat as needed. The act is symbolic. Yes, symbols have power in the hush of night. They help the heart orient toward repair. I speak a brief blessing now. May the night be kind. May small chances arrive like soft lights along a path. May mercy meet any fear and ease it. These words are small and clear. Receive them not as commands, but as a quiet offering. As the room grows stiller, picture a narrow bridge over calm water. It is not wide. It is safe. Each step on it is careful. The railing is solid. Walk slowly across in the mind. With every step, the weight carried feels lighter. When the other side comes into view, do not rush. Pause and feel the air. The river below continues its song. The bridge did its work. I close the Bible softly. The pages make a muffled sound in the quiet. I sit a moment with the lamp. The light is warm and low. If sleep comes now, let it be gentle. If wakefulness remains, keep breathing and return to the images. Second chances work quietly. They begin without fanfare. They are patient companions. Before I go, I promise to return with more gentle words. I will read again. I will stay steady. For tonight, accept the thought that newness can begin in small measures. Let that knowledge rest like a small stone in the pocket of the heart. Rest now. Let the breath be slow. Let the mind make room for the soft possibilities of dawn. I remain here, reading into the night, a steady voice and a quiet hand. until sleep takes hold. I recount a tale that has stayed near the ribs for years. It is the story of a family member who wandered, who learned, and who came home. I speak slowly. The night listens. My words keep a soft pace. He is my younger brother. He leaves one summer with a rucksack and a bright plan. The town watches him go. He is eager. He thinks the world will match his hurry. For a while, it seems that way. The money moves fast. New faces applaud. Nights stretch long. He tastes things he had only heard about. Pleasure comes easily at first. He spends as if tomorrow is the same as today. The turning is quiet. It does not happen at a dramatic moment. It is a thin week when wages come in less often. It is a late season, when a job that promised steady hours folds. He finds himself alone in a rent room with a single lamp. The lamp hums without warmth. Food becomes a careful count. Pride becomes a weight. He learns how small generosity looks when it is nearly gone. The days that follow are hard in ordinary ways. He scrubs floors and carries boxes. He mends some part of a life that had been loose. He eats late. He sleeps on a couch sometimes. He thinks often of home. The memory of the place is not grand. It is a table with a dent in the edge and a mug that has a chip. He remembers the way his father used to hum while washing dishes. Those small things call him more than any map. One morning, tired and a little ashamed, he decides to walk the road back. The choice is simple and brave. There is no fanfare. There is only one foot in front of the other. The road is long and fields slide by. He counts steps without talking about it. He plans not his apology, but the first sentence of return. He rehearses humility in the quiet. When he reaches the lane that leads to the house looks the same. The porch still leans. The paint still peels in the same places. The garden grows a bit wilder. He notices small details he had missed before. The sight of the house tightens the chest in a way that is soft and sharp. A thought passes through him. Perhaps the house will close its doors. Perhaps faces will cool. The mind whispers alarms. He keeps walking. My father is in the kitchen when I say these words to you. He is at the sink. He keeps 2 towels over his shoulder like he always does. He hears the gate. He leaves the towel where it falls and steps out into the evening air. He sees my brother before any words are spoken. And then there is movement, like a stone dropped into still water. My father moves quickly. He closes the distance with a stride that makes you forget his years. He does not ask for an account. He does not demand a ledger. He lifts both hands and draws him near. The rest of the night will later be told as a feast. For the moment, there is an embrace. The air smells faintly of soap. Seeing that scene changed something in me. I had once thought redemption required a long list of good deeds. I had once believed it needed tidy proof. The sight of home as it received him taught otherwise. It taught that pardon can arrive like an open door, without condition, offered before explanation. It is not a dismissal of consequence. It is an arrival of mercy that lets repair begin. The elder sibling in the story weighs on us too. My sister watches from the doorway. She keeps her arms crossed at first. She has questions that are patient and sharp. Her heart takes time to soften. She had not left the table. She had kept the lamps lit. Her faithfulness is not ignored. In time, she learns to let gratitude enter the rooms that used to be occupied by accusation. Her learning is an important part of the return. Forgiveness for some is a gentle motion. For others, it is a slow untying. At the table, we share a stew, too simple to be grand. The bread is not new. It is warm enough. Hands reach across bowls. Laughter slips back into the corners. Words come, but they are not the center. The center is presence. I watch the exchange, and I feel the ancient story of the lost and found move through my memory. It is the same outline many pages have traced. A leaving, a losing, a return, and an open embrace. That outline does not age. Its leçon stays gamme. After that night, I keep a small practice. I read the story of the lost son again before bed. I do not recite it like a lecture. I let it fold into my dreams. It reminds me that mercy shows up first. It reminds me that home is a posture, not only a place. Those lines become a lamp I carry when the road feels uncertain. Now I offer a prayer of gratitude. I lower my voice and let each phrase be spare. I am the one who reads the Bible here at night. I close the book with care and breathe before speaking. The prayer is not ornate. It is a list of small, honest thanks. First, I give thanks for the return. A simple phrase moves through the mind. Thank you for the one who came home. Thank you for hands that ran to meet him. Gratitude rests on that motion. It settles like bread on the tongue. Next, I thank for lessons learned in absence. I do not celebrate foolishness. I only acknowledge growth. Thank you for hard seasons that teach humility. Thank you for nights that make small comforts bright. That gratitude tastes of the plain soup and the chipped mug we now revere. I give thanks for the patient ones. Thank you for those who keep lamps lit and doors propped. Thank you for steady meals and quiet waiting. These acts are mercy in small forms. They do the work of mending. I thank for forgiveness that arrives before proof. The prayer names the mercy that moves without demand. Thank you for hands that forgive first, then listen. Thank you for a welcome that does not tally false before offering warmth. This is the kind of grace that changes nights into mornings. I remember the elders' slow softening, and I thank for that too. Thank you for patience that learns to open. Thank you for hearts that make room for other hearts to repair. This is an ache that heals by inches. I am grateful for inches. I speak a short thanks for the simple things. Thank you for a warm blanket, a quiet lamp, a breath that eases tension. Thank you for the plain table that gathers us. These small mercies are the scaffolding of larger repair. I offer a private request tucked into the prayer. Help us to be ready to run with the same quickness. Help us not to wait for tidy proofs before we reach out. Teach us to value presence over accusation. This is a small ask. It is also a wide one. I say a short wish for the one who returned. Grant rest tonight. Grant healing that is slow and honest. Keep him steady in small acts. Let the work of mending be gentle and true. Let his nights be kinder now than before. I then place a soft request for any listener who carries a similar story. For anyone who has wandered, may the road home feel possible. For anyone who waits, may patience be a small companion. For anyone who fears the first step, may courage arrive quietly. These are not commands. They are small offerings like a hand placed on a shoulder. I breathe and let the silence take the prayer. In the quiet, gratitude settles into the chest like a warm pebble. It is not heavy. It is enough. The lamp on the bedside flickers. The house makes a small settling sound. Outside, a distant car passes without notice. Everything returns to its slow rhythm. Before I closed the Bible for a while, I read again in my mind the image that needed to be kept. A father runs. A table fills. A door stays open. A small stew warms hands. These images are soft teachers. They teach that mercy moves first, and that repair grows from welcome. I finish with a short benediction, whispered without drama. May gratitude live in the small places. May mercy meet every tired walker. May the night cradle those who need rest. Let the breath be slow. Let sleep come when it will. I will keep reading to you in the next part. For now, let the room be still. Let the story rest in the heart. Let gratitude do its quiet work until morning. Amen. I silently offer thanks, knowing 1 Thessalonians 5:1-6-18 reminds me to give thanks in all circumstances. For this is God's will for me. I feel the words settle like a small stone in the palm of my hand. I breathe over it and let the softness spread. Comfort in God's presence is not loud. It arrives like a hush. It comes as warmth in the chest, like a cloak laid across the shoulders. In moments when the night presses close, that presence is the steady companion who does not demand answers. It simply stays. I sit with the Bible open and the lamp low. The pages are familiar. I read slowly and softly. I do not aim to teach. I aim to bring calm. A verse may float up in the mind, not as a test, but as a gently lit path. I speak these lines in a voice small enough to be a pillow. Each sentence is a quiet hand on the back. Imagine a small room with a single window. Moonlight crosses the floor in a pale ribbon. In one corner, a chair cradles a blanket. The chair knows the shape of a tired body. The blanket remembers the weight of arms. In this room, presence is a person who does not hurry. They sit, breathing in the same slow pattern. Their company makes the room safer. That is the image I give you tonight. Bring attention to the feet. Feel them heavy and warm against the sheets. Let the thought of God's nearness rest there, like a small heat. Move the awareness slowly up the body. The presence follows. It is patient. It does not leap. It sits with the low places. Allow it to be close to the belly where worry sometimes gathers. Let it rest by the collarbone, where tiredness makes a hollow. I offer a short practice now. Keep it simple. Breathe in 4 counts. Hold for 2 counts. Breathe out 6 counts. With each exhale, name silently one small comfort shelter. A warm drink. A hand held. The memory of a song. The list is not long. It is careful. Repeat this for 3 cycles. Notice how the presence feels more like a room filling with light than like an argument. There is a tenderness here that does not rush repair. It invites presence more than performance. Imagine being wrapped in a cloak that has no seams of judgment. The cloak fits, not because of what has been done, but because the wearer is worthy simply by being present. Let that thought sit on the shoulders for a breath. Feel the fabric ease the shoulders down. If fear or a sharp memory arrives, notice it without wrestling. Place that thought on a small tray in the mind. Look at it for a moment, then set the tray down beside you. It can remain there without needing to become the center of the night. The presence is a table that can hold many things. It does not spill. Sometimes presence comes with a song. It is a low hum that the heart remembers. If it helps, name a short line in your mind that brings peace. Keep the line brief. Repeat it like a lullaby between breaths. The voice that sings is steady and unhurried. It does not promise sudden fixes. It promises a steady companionship through the dark. I read a passage tonight that speaks of being near in times of trouble. I do not recite the whole verse. I let the idea fill the space between sentences. The listener can feel that nearness like a hand at the small of the back, guiding without pulling. That is comfort. It is not coercion. It is a presence that invites rest. There is a small courage in simply being here. Many nights ask for effort. The effort of staying still and letting mercy work is itself an act of courage. A gentle discipline grows from small rituals. A slow prayer, a breathing practice, a moment of thanks. These rituals do not demand change in one night. They make a path that can be walked tomorrow as well. If sleep does not come, remain kind. Watch the mind as if from the other side of a glass. Let thoughts move like people in a distant street. Notice them. Do not step outside. Stay where it is warm. The presence is content to watch with you. It does not leave when the night stretches long. I place my hand lightly on the book's cover and breathe. I remind myself and the listener that God's nearness is a sanctuary, not a vacancy. The sanctuary holds the small noises. It listens to the clatter of worry and does not hurry to fix it. It offers steady shelter. Accept this shelter as you would accept a cup of warm tea without argument. Simply because it is offered. There is mercy in small, ordinary things. A neighbor's quiet kindness, a soft word from a friend, the taste of bread, the warmth of a blanket. These things are not miraculous, and yet they carry the same signature of care. Let them collect like small pebbles in a jar. When nights press in, lift one pebble and feel its weight. It is enough sometimes to steady the palm. Imagine now a small candle on the windowsill. Its flame is steady and modest. The flame does not banish the dark. It simply marks a point of light. Keep that candle in the mind. When fear draws near, picture the flame and remember that presence has already lit a line across the darkness. Follow that line slowly. I do not demand that every heart feel immediate peace. Some wounds are long and need seasons to mend. Presence is patient. It knows how to keep company with slow healing. Trust that being tended to is not wasted time. It is the soil in which quieter health can grow. try a brief practice of naming. Choose 3 words that describe what you need tonight. Maybe rest. Maybe courage. Maybe patience. Name them slowly in the mind, and let each word sit like a stone on the table beside you. Each stone is a quiet petition. The presence does not tally merits. It holds the stones and keeps them safe. Before I close this part, I read a short line aloud, not as a verdict, but as a benediction. The line speaks of guarding the heart and mind. I let it hang in the air like a soft chime. Hear it as a promise of vigilance that is gentle, not vigilant in a strict sense, but attentive, like a friend who stays awake until the sleeper breathes easier. I offer now a simple blessing. May presence be near. May rest settle where worry has sat. May mercy be soft and patient with the broken parts. May the heart find room to breathe. Take these wishes quietly, like small coins placed in the palm. Keep the breathing slow. Keep the mind kind. If sleep comes, let it arrive without hurry. If sleep waits, let mercy keep the waiting company. I remain here, the voice by the lamp, the reader with the Bible on my lap. I will come again with more words that calm and hold. For now, let presence be the quiet anchor that steadies the night. Pausing, I make room for silence. I let the next breath be an opening. The lamp is low. The Bible lies warm in my hands. I am the one who reads these pages before we rest. Tonight, I invite a quiet practice of mindfulness and silent reflection. I begin by asking you to notice one small thing. Maybe the weight of the sheet on a shoulder. Maybe the soft press of the pillow against the face. Find that single sensation and hold it for 3 slow breaths. This is not a task. It is an offering. The body answers when it is spoken to with kindness. I read a short line from the psalm and let it sit. It speaks of a guide who walks even through dark places. The line is simple and true. Hear it as a lamp placed by your bed. Let it show a small patch of floor. Do not try to light the whole room at once. Let that patch be enough for now. Shift attention to the ears. Listen without trying to name each sound. Hear the small hum of the house. Hear distant traffic. Hear a clock in the hall. Let sounds come and go, like birds passing a window. None of these sounds require action. They simply are in the silence between the sounds. Notice a stillness that feels like a soft sheet pulled over a chair. Rest in that space. Now bring awareness to breathing. Inhale gently. Notice the cool entry of air. Exhale slowly. Imagine the breath as a tide. It comes in and goes out. Count silently if it helps. 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale. Keep the counts short. Do not push the rhythm. Let counting be a quiet anchor. I guide you into a mindful body scan. Begin at the top of the head. Imagine a small, gentle light moving down. It pauses at the forehead and smooths tiny creases. It softens the jaw. It unclasps the shoulders. The light moves slowly. It does not hurry. Where tension sits, the light simply stays a moment longer. No force is used. The body relaxes of its own accord. If thoughts arise, do not chase them. Notice them as clouds. Name them with single words in the mind planning. Worry. Memory. Gently place each cloud aside and return attention to the breath. This naming is not judgment. It is a way to keep the hands of the mind gently occupied so the heart can rest. I offer a short grounding exercise of the senses. Notice 5 small things you can see in the dim light. Notice 4 things you can feel: sheet, pillow, pulse, breath. Notice 3 things you can hear. Notice 2 things you can smell or recall as a scent. Notice 1 thing you can taste or imagine tasting. Move slowly. Let the senses anchor you to the present, like pegs in a calm tent. Now, I read aloud a simple verse again, not with scholarly intent, but as a soft bell. The words remind me that even in shadowed valleys, I am not utterly alone. Let that assurance be the frame within which your thoughts settle. The presence that promises to walk with us does not require loud proof. It walks quietly beside the footstep. Hold a short, reflective silence. In that space, invite one question that is gentle and small. It could be, what comfort do I need tonight? Or where can I give myself permission to rest? Ask the question softly. Do not expect an answer right away. Allow the heart time to listen. Sometimes the answer comes as a small feeling, a loosened muscle, a warm spot behind the ribs. If grief or fear presses near, place a hand on the chest. Feel the rise and fall under the palm. Speak one brief sentence in the mind. I bring this to the one who stays. Let the sentence be simple. Let it be true. Give the feeling a small place to be without letting it swell into all the space. Practice a slow prayer of presence. Breathe in and imagine drawing in a pale light. Let it rest at the center of the chest. Breathe out and imagine releasing a thin thread of worry into the dark. Repeat twice. These breaths are like small stitches, or time. Stitches gather into mending. I suggest a quiet use of the senses for reflection. Cup one ear with a hand and listen. It sounds strange, but it slows the mind. Candle light, lamp glow, or moonbeam. Choose an image and let it become a companion for a few breaths. Imagine that light resting on whatever part of life feels raw. Let it warm that place without intrusion. There is a discipline in silence that tends mercy. Silence does not mean absence of care. It is a space where care can be felt more plainly. While I read aloud, let the words fall slow and spare. Allow them to fill small hollows. Do not analyze. Hold them like a small stone in the palm. Stones do not tell long stories. They simply weigh what they weigh. If a memory returns, do not force it away. Notice where it sits in the body. Name its quality tight, dull, fluttering. Then imagine a gentle river beside the memory. Place it at the edge and watch it float. The river keeps moving. The memory moves with it. This practice is not erasure. It is movement. I teach a brief practice of attentive listening to scripture. Read a single verse slowly. Let it be no more than a line. Then close the eyes and listen. Allow a single word from the verse to come forward. Hold that word like a small lamp. Let the mind keep company with it for a breath or two. Do not demand meaning. Let the meaning approach you on its own timing. As I read, I place the book down between breaths and leave space for stillness. This is intentional. The pause is the place where gentle work happens. One small pause can unstick a night of restless thought. In these pauses, mercy often arrives like a soft knock rather than a flood. I advise a mindful posture for prayer. Keep it short. Keep it honest. If words do not form, breathe the desire for rest like a single wordless sigh. If words come, keep them plain. Say thank you for one small kindness. Ask for one small help. Draw the heart toward hope with one sentence. Prayer in the dark is less about sound and more about turning toward presence. I invite a slow imagining of returning light. Picture a narrow beam moving across the floor, then up the wall, then across the ceiling. The beam does not chase away all darkness. It marks a safe path. Follow it with the eyes closed. Let the beam guide the breath. Each breath steps toward calm. If sleep does not claim you tonight, be gentle. Keep the practices as companions. Revisit the grounding of senses. Return to a single verse. Hold your chosen word. Repeat the short prayer of presence. Small repetitions build a quiet patience that the mind understands more easily than one sudden command. I end this practice with a short blessing from the Bible that I carry to bed. I do not quote it loudly. I breathe it into the room as a wish may peace guard the heart and mind. May mercy rest light upon the forehead. May the steady presence walk with every quiet step. Take this blessing like a soft cloth and lay it across the shoulders. When you are ready, close the eyes. Let the breath settle into natural rhythm. I will stay here, reading the Bible and the small lines of comfort. A steady voice beside the lamp. There is an intentional pause now as I close the book softly. I promise to return in the next part with more gentle words that help the mind rest. Rest in this slow company. Keep the breath soft. Let silence be your friend tonight. The divine presence is near. Sleep will come when it is ready. For now, hold to the small practices. Let the stillness do its work with mercy and hope. I settle the book in my lap and let the room breathe with me. The lamp keeps a small circle of warmth. The Bible waits open. I read for soft company. I read so the words can be a pillow for the mind. Tonight, I linger on a short command that rests like a small bell. Be still and know that He is God. Say it slowly in the mind. Let the phrase land like a footfall on a quiet path. It asks nothing dramatic. It asks for stillness. It asks for a remembering. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is attention tuned to one steady point. A pond that is still shows the sky. The reflection is clear. In that clarity, light returns in a gentler shape. Let the belly be that pond for a while. Breathe and watch the small ripples settle. Hold the breath in small counts. Inhale for 3. Pause. Exhale for 5. Repeat twice. Each cycle draws attention inward. Each exhale smooths a thought. The present becomes more like a room with soft light and less like a crowded market. Hope arrives in the hush. It does not always roar. It often comes as a small knock, A single line of scripture can be the knock. A remembered kindness can be the knock. A softened muscle can be the knock. Notice how the chest answers. When a small kindness appears in the mind, it loosens. It breathes a shade easier. Picture a narrow lane at dawn. The fog thins as the sky lightens. A lamp on a post marks the way. Hope is that lamp. It does not dispel every shadow. It makes stepping forward possible. Walk slowly in the imagination. Feel the soles on cool stone. Each step is enough. The day does not need to be carried now. Only this small step needs courage. I read aloud a few simple lines from the Psalms and let them hang like lanterns. The words guide, not lecture. They remind that being still is an act of trust. Trust does not require a full map. Trust requires one small exchange, the letting go of frantic holding, so a steady hand can be felt. If worry comes, give it a seat by the window. Do not banish it with force. Look at it kindly for a moment. Name the worry in a single, short phrase. Then, imagine placing it in a shallow bowl of water. Watch the phrase soften at the edges. The bowl does not swallow the worry. It simply keeps it from crowding the bed. Hope keeps a rhythm with small practices. Try this with the palms on the belly. Breathe in and say inwardly, "There is hope." Breathe out and imagine a small thread of light passing from chest to fingertips. Follow the light down the arms. Let it rest there a beat. Do this 3 times. These tiny repetitions are stitches. They mend a ragged edge. I think of hope as a repository of small promises. One of those promises is mercy at night. Mercy meets the tired without counting merits. It arrives as a presence that does not demand a list of proofs. Let that presence be a soft blanket. Lay it across the shoulders in the mind. Feel the fabric fall. The weight is gentle. Another promise is a future that cannot be ruined by one long evening. A life has seasons. The night is a single season. Hope remembers morning. It does not erase the hard shapes of the day. It simply keeps a horizon that will light up again. Hold that horizon like a distant line of lanterns. I share a short image that I return to often. Picture a small seed tucked into dark soil. The seed does nothing flashy. It rests. It takes on dampness. It begins slowly to change. Growth is invisible at first. Then a thin green appears. Hope is that seed. It is a humble thing. It asks only for time and a small amount of care. Care can be simple and ordinary. A warm drink, a tidy space, a steady voice. Small acts of kindness do heavy lifting over long stretches. When the mind lists what needs to be fixed before rest, counter the list with 3 small mercies you know are present now. Say them quietly. Let them be the counterweight to the urgent ledger. If prayer feels heavy, make it short and plain. A single sentence in the heart is enough. Offer one small request: help me rest. Help me trust. Help me hold hope. Let the line be brief. Let the feeling follow. Prayer in this hour need not be a performance. It is turning the face toward the source of steady light. Sometimes hope is not a future promise, but a memory. Recall one moment where gentleness mattered. maybe a hand that steadied you, maybe a quiet word that changed a day. Hold that memory like a coin. Let it warm in the palm. The heart remembers that gentleness is possible. That remembrance creates room for hope now. I move to a small practice of imagining kindness arriving as a sound. Hear a simple tune. It is spare and soft. Let it loop for a few counts. Allow the chest to fall into the rhythm. Music does not fix everything. It changes the space where thought moves. Let that change be enough for a while. If sleep comes slowly, remain kind. Rest is not a race. It is a patient companion. Keep the breath even. Keep the hands comfortable. Let the lamp glow low. The room is shaped for gentleness. Let hope live in the small arrangements. A tucked blanket. A closed book. A steady light. I read another short verse and place it gently on the bedside table of the mind. The verse says in few words that power rests where surrender goes. Surrender here is not defeat. It is trusting that the weight does not have to be carried alone. Hope grows from that trust, like a plant from a careful garden bed. Before I finish, I invite a brief blessing. May hope take root beneath the ribs. May mercy visit like a slow rain. May the knowledge of God's nearness calm the quickness of thought. Let these words be a small, quiet benediction placed on the heart. Close the eyes when ready. Keep the breathing slow. Imagine the lamp on the lane. Picture the seed under soil. Hear the small tune. Rest does its work in its own time. I will be here, the one who reads the Bible before sleep. Steady and soft. I will return with more gentle words in the next part. For now, let hope be the steady light that makes the next step possible. I sit with the Bible open and a soft lamp on the table. The room holds a hush. I place my hand lightly on the cover. I speak slowly. Tonight I take comfort from a line in Matthew that invites the weary to come and find rest. I do not recite the verse word for word. I let its heart come through an open invitation to lay burdens down and receive rest. Acceptance and release are gentle arts. They are not sudden. They are small, repeated gestures. This part of the night is for learning how to make those gestures simple and real. Begin by finding the weight you carry tonight. It may be a named sorrow. It may be a restless worry about something tomorrow. It may be a knot of regret that tightens the shoulders. Notice it without judgment. See it like a small stone in the hand of the mind. Do not try to crush it. Do not try to toss it wildly. Observe its shape and let its edges soften with one calm breath. I guide the breath with you. Inhale slowly for 3 counts. Hold for 1 soft beat. Exhale long for 5 counts. With each out-breath, imagine the stone growing lighter. The shoulders let go a fraction. The jaw softens. Each breath is a small offering of release. Try a simple image now. Picture a basket at the end of the bed. The basket is plain and strong. It will not spill. It waits for one thing, a single burden. Choose only one burden tonight. Name it in the mind in 3 words or fewer. Hold it in the cupped hands of your imagination. Walk slowly to the bedside basket. Lay the burden inside. Close the lid like a gentle promise. The act of placing is an acceptance. It says this is real. It also says I will not carry it through the night. Acceptance is not the same as giving up. It is a clear seeing. It is a simple recognition of what is. Acceptance says, I am tired. I am human. I have limits. It does not make the problem vanish. It makes space for rest to begin. Release follows. Release is a letting go. It is the moment the hands open and the burden is set down. I read a short line aloud. Not as a test, but as a comfort. Rest is possible for those who carry heavy loads. The sentence lands like a small stone placed on a shelf. It is available to touch when needed. Let it be a gentle reminder. Do not force a transformation. Allow rest to enter as if through a half-open door. Now use the body to help the mind. Put both palms over the chest. Breathe into that warm place. Feel the pulse beneath the palms. With each inhale, imagine a thin, pale light filling the space between ribs. With each exhale, imagine a soft thread sliding the burden further from the heart. Move your hands outward slowly, as if placing warmth onto the mattress. This motion is a ritual of transfer. It does not pretend to fix everything. It simply changes where the weight rests for a season. There is a quiet mercy that meets acceptance. It often arrives not as a word, but as presence. Picture a gentle companion in the room. They do not speak much. They sit and breathe in the same rhythm. Their hands are empty. Their face is steady. In the dark, such company reassures. The invitation in Matthew is like that companion. It does not demand explanation. It only offers rest if the mind resists. Do not push hard. Resistance is part of being alive. Notice where the resistance sits. Maybe it is a tightness in the throat. Maybe it is a repeated sentence of self-reproach. Offer that place a kindness. Place a soft phrase in your mind. This is hard, and I am here. Say it once and let it rest. The words do not solve the knot. They thaw it slowly. A small practice helps the release whole. Find a corner or a pocket of the room in the imagination. It might be an armchair, a window sill, a small bench. Picture leaving the burden there in full sight. Imagine stepping back and finding the space between you and the burden widening. The distance is not meant to be permanent. It is meant to give room for breath and sleep. Keep the basket or the bench as a mental place to return to. If needed, tomorrow morning. Acceptance sometimes meets grief. Grief does not disappear at night. It can be welcomed like a visitor who needs a chair. Offer it something simple, a name, a small silence, a soft attention. Let the visitor sit. Do not overfeed it with memory. Do not rush it out. In the morning, when light comes, new actions can be taken. For now, give room. Release begins by noticing the guest without letting it storm the house. There is a practice I return to often. I write it in the mind like a short script for the night. Take one breath in and think quietly. I surrender this for rest. Let the thought be brief. Let it be true. The mind does not always accept the idea at once. That is fine. Repeat the short script 3 times. With each repetition, the sentence grows less foreign. The shoulders release a little more. Sometimes release needs a gesture. If it feels safe, place a small object beside the bed. It can be a stone, a coin, a folded scrap of paper. Before sleep, touch it and say a small name into the dark that fits the burden. Lay the object down and leave it there. The physical motion anchors the inner transfer. It is a quiet covenant between body and mind. Accepting limits also means accepting help. If someone near offers to carry a part of the load, let them. The night is not the hour for proving independence. It is the hour for receiving care. If help is not available, imagine a gentle hand resting on the shoulder. Let it be a placeholder until real hands come again. Readiness to release often grows with small acts. A single night of laying something down does not erase the past. It does begin a pattern. Each evening the basket can take another small burden. Over time the pile decreases. The practice is not dramatic. It is faithful. It is steady. If sleep keeps slipping away despite these efforts, return to the breath and the basket. Choose only a single worry. Place it down. Count the breath slowly. 1 inhale, 1 exhale. The counting is not a race. It is a rhythm that holds the mind in a safe tempo. Let the lamp of attention be small. Focus on one tiny point of light until the eyelids grow heavy. Acceptance brings a kind of release that is not hollow. It is an honest letting go that admits limits and invites mercy. Mercy is a quiet hand that does not tally hours. It only rests a palm over the wound. Allow that palm to be present tonight. I speak a short prayer. Simple and clear. I say it like a breath. Help come near. Help us lay down what we cannot carry in this hour. Keep mercy gentle. Make rest possible. Amen. The word is small. The invitation remains. Before I close the book, immagini a river again. This one moves slowly. A small leaf carries one named burden. Watch it float down the bend. The river does not hurry. It does not judge. It simply moves. Let that motion be enough tonight. Close the eyes if it feels right. Keep the hands soft. Let the breath find its own length. I will stay here. The voice beside the lamp. The reader with the Bible open. I will return in the next part with more quiet work for the night. For now, accept what is, and release what you can. Let rest do the rest. The lamp is low. The Bible lies warm across my knees. I read a line from Colossians, slowly. The phrase asks us to clothe ourselves in compassion and kindness. It asks for humility, gentleness, and patience. Above all, it says, put on love. I let those words sit like a soft garment. A friend taught me what that garment looks like in real life. The lesson was quiet. It did not arrive as a sermon. It came in small, steady acts. He arrives one autumn evening when my hands feel empty of answers. The day has been too long, and the list of tasks is longer. The light is thin through the curtains. He comes with a bag that smells faintly of bread and something warm. He moves slowly. Nothing about him rushes. His arrival is simple and whole. He does not ask about every detail. He listens. His listening is not a friendly pause that waits for a turn to speak. It is a room opening to receive what is said. He keeps his voice small. His questions are short. In those short moments, my chest finds space to ease. He notices what needs doing before I name it. A kettle is put on. A pot is rinsed. The cushions are fluffed without announcement. Each small act is a sentence of care. The kindness is practical. It touches ordinary things. It warms a mug. It folds a towel. It wipes a sill. The work is not heroic. It is steady. It is present. I watch him share his time like a blanket. He sits and stays. He does not leave when the stories loop or when silence sits heavy. He stays and breathes alongside me. His patience is a quiet rhythm. I learn that compassion is not only feeling sorrow for another, it is choosing to be there when comfort takes its time. At one point, he brings a small jar of honey. He sets it on the table and speaks nothing. The jar feels like a small gift that says, "This night can be sweeter." His generosity is unobtrusive. It is a practical kindness that does not expect return. In that gesture, I see Colossians lived out. Compassion has hands. After a while, he helps me gather a few things for tomorrow. The motion is simple. He does not carry the whole load. He carries enough to make the steps manageable. The help is not a rescue. It is an arrangement that shows solidarity. In the doing, I feel less alone. He speaks once about mistakes. His voice is plain. He offers no lecture. He says that everyone carries broken pieces. He says they do not disqualify a person from kindness. I do not recall the exact words. I recall the calm in his manner. I recall that his sympathy never becomes pity. It is a steady kind of respect. Later, when the night grows colder, he tucks a blanket across my knees. The motion is unassuming. It is small. It is enough. In that moment, the image of Colossians settles in me. Compassion is clothing. It covers a person. It does not interrogate why they are cold. It simply warms them. I think now about how Colossians ties these virtues together. Compassion and kindness are near each other. Humility and gentleness follow. Patience keeps them from snapping. Love wraps the whole. The passage imagines not a list of moral tasks. It pictures a set of clothes to wear daily. My friend did not preach the list. He put it on. That night I practiced the same small acts in my mind. I fold a square of cloth slowly. Each fold is careful. Each crease softens. I let the image act like training. Compassion in life often needs practice. It grows by repeating small, ordinary gestures. I learned something else from him. Compassion includes boundaries. When a phone rings that requires a harsh or hurried answer, he lets it go unanswered. He protects the space we sit in. His care does not mean allowing harm. It means keeping safe, the room where healing can start. This part of compassion is quiet but firm. It looks like closing a door to protect a rest. There is a way compassion touches the self. He teaches this by example. He treats his own fatigue with kindness. He accepts a rest without guilt. He eats slowly and enjoys the food. He forgives his mistakes simply and moves on. Watching him, I learn that kindness is not only outward, it must begin inside. When it starts there, the outward giving is not hollow. I take a breath with you now. Breathe in slowly. Hold a soft second. Breathe out and imagine placing a gentle coat across your shoulders. Let the coat be compassion. It need not be perfect. It need only cover the parts that chill tonight. Consider one small action. You can do that. Mirrors what my friend did. Perhaps make a warm drink. Perhaps set a small lamp to glow. Perhaps send a brief note to someone you know who carries a silent weight. Keep the action tiny. The point is repetition, not grandeur. Compassion learns by doing. If you feel hesitant, remember it is safe to begin with yourself. Offer one kind phrase in the mind. Say, I will be gentle with myself tonight. Say it once. Let the phrase rest like a soft stone. Do not judge how it sits. Let it sink as it will. I read Colossians again. Quietly. The words are not heavy. They sit like fabric folded neatly. Listen to them as a pattern. Noda the man. Imagine slipping these virtues on like clothing. Picture humility, making the sleeves easy to move. Picture gentleness, smoothing seams. Picture patience, letting the garment keep shape over time. Compassion in practice often looks like small consistency. A friend who arrives regularly. A neighbor who brings soup now and then. A habit of listening without interrupting. These repeated small things become a network of care. Over months and years, the web holds more than a single grand gesture ever could. As the night deepens, think of one person who modeled compassion to you. Let their face come without effort. Let gratitude answer quietly. These memories are like lanterns handed down. They light the path. They guide action that is humble and steady. Now, place both hands over the chest. Feel the warmth there. Breathe slowly 3 times. Picture compassion as a fabric warmed by a small fire. Let that warmth travel from the chest to the hands. Let it rest there a moment. This is not a performance. It is a practice of readiness. Being warmed helps to warm others. If sleep comes, let these images move with you. If wakefulness remains, return to the small tasks. Fold a sheet in the mind. Wrap a mug of tea. Offer a quiet thought of kindness to someone who needs it. Little motions anchor the heart. I close with a small blessing tied to the lesson of Colossians. May compassion clothe the night. May kindness be practical and gentle. May patience steady every soft action. Above all, may love bind these things together and keep them near. Take that blessing as a thin blanket on the shoulders. I will return with another gentle passage soon. For now, rest with the thought that compassion is simple and active. It is something to wear and to give. Let it keep you company until morning. I open the book and turn the thin page with care. The lamp throws a small circle of light. The room narrows to the sound of my breath. I read quietly and let a single image shape the hour shelter beneath wings. I picture a bird that knows its young by sound. The bird moves with a slow, careful step. Feathers lift and fold. A hush forms under them. The hush is not emptiness. It is soft company. It keeps the small things close and safe. I name that image aloud in a low voice. I do not need to explain it. The image itself does the work. Imagine a wide wing curving like a roof. Imagine it lowering. A gentle arc that makes a small room. Under that arc there is no fear of wind. There is room to breathe. Breathe with me now. Inhale slowly. Picture a warm feather sweeping down and meeting the breath. Hold the air for a soft beat. Exhale and imagine tension sliding from the shoulders into the feathers. Repeat twice. The rhythm is steady. The wings do not hurry. There is comfort in the idea of being sheltered. It is practical and quiet. Shelter does not erase storms. It simply puts a roof between the weather and the heart. A wind may still howl outside. Inside the wing, the sound is muffled. The chest can find steadier cadence. I think of psalm imagery, not as an argument, but as a bedside painting. The psalmist imagines being covered. It is not a dramatic rescue. It is close. Near. Folding in. I read the lines with this gentle picture in mind. Each phrase becomes a small touch. Each sentence becomes a soft hand adjusting the blanket. Lay a single worry on the lap of the image. Name it briefly in the mind, one word or a short phrase. Hold it like a pebble. Watch the wing lower. Place the pebble on the soft down. It does not vanish. It is simply set down where it can rest. The act of setting down is mercy, made simple. My voice stays slow. I tell no long story now. Instead, I describe movement. The wing covers the head. The wing warms the shoulders. The wing leans close where the heart quickens. Little things find shelter there, cold toes, tight jaws. Thoughts that loop. Notice how the body answers when something is kept safe. Muscles ease. Eyes blink slower. The breath lengthens. Try an image of sound. Imagine the wing making a low, rustling murmur. The murmur is like pages turning, or a distant lullaby. It keeps time with the breath. When a worrying thought comes, let the murmur receive it. No debate, no forcing. The thought is heard. Then it is set aside. Safety here is relational. It is not a shield made of stone. It is a living covering. The feathers are warm. They move with the body. They adjust when rest shifts. Shelter, in this sense, feels like being held by a careful friend who knows how to steady an unsteady frame. I speak of mercy that is near, not remote. Mercy under wings is not a lecture about worthiness. It is a gentle provision. It meets the smallness in the night. It gives rest before proof. This is the sort of mercy that invites sleep without first demanding answers. If fear presses close, imagine pressing a hand to the soft under feathers. Feel the slight warmth. Let the hand be still there for a breath or two. The touch is simple. It is a reminder that care has a texture. Care can be felt. The sensation need not explain itself. It only needs to be noticed. I guide a small practice of sending a prayer into that space. Keep the words minimal. Breathe in and say shelter. Breathe out and let the word rest beneath the wing. Repeat 3 times. The prayer is not meant to fix everything. It is a quiet delivery. It moves the load from the chest to something that can hold it. There are times when shelter includes boundaries. Wings fold gently, but firmly. They do not invite everything under them. The folding sets a limit that protects the weak places. Think of a cove hidden from a storm. The cove keeps waves at bay, but does not deny the sea. Shelter holds what it can hold and lets the rest follow its course beyond the enclosing curve. I hold a small memory now. A night when a friend sat without speaking. Their silence had substance. It felt like a wing across my shoulders. No advice. No tally. Only presence. That memory is a proof of this kind of shelter. It teaches that protection can be simple and steady. Let an image settle beside the bed, a nest made of small, ordinary things. Twigs, soft cloth, warm bread scraps. The nest is not luxurious. It is fit for rest. It is enough. Picture lying there a moment. Hear nothing but the muffled world. Let the mind learn the soft margin between alertness and sleep. I read the next short line and pause. The pause is deliberate. It leaves space for the mind to orally trace the image again. In that pause, the imagination often deepens its picture. Small details come forward. The weathered shape of a wing bone, the down like tiny clouds, the steady breath of whatever shelters you when sleep is near. Let the wing become steadier. Feel the slow drop of the eyelids. Trust the chest to find its pace. Keep the hand at the place where the wing meets the shoulder in the image. Let it be a physical reminder that someone watches over the smallness of this night. Mercy and shelter together change the tone of fear. They do not need to argue. They simply appear as an alternative pattern. Where the mind has been a busy ledger, the wing offers a single line: you are kept. When the ledger closes for the night, the heart is freer to rest. I offer a brief, simple benediction in the hush. May this night hold you like a wing holds the small. May mercy be the fabric that covers the anxious places. May hope, quiet and patient, sit like a small lantern at the edge of the nest. These are not grand promises. They are practical comforts. If wakefulness comes later, return to the feather image. Picture the wing and lay another thought there. Keep the acts small. Each placing is an exercise in trust. Trust is built by tiny repetitions. Let tonight be one such repetition. I close the page gently. The lamp is steady. The room breathes with a softer air. I will read again in the next part. For now, let the shelter of wings be the last landscape on the mind. Let it be the place the breath can visit when the night grows loud. Rest under the wing. Let sleep come as slowly as a tide. I remain here, the voice by the lamp, reading and keeping the hush. When morning comes, the wing will still be part of the memory. For tonight, let it be enough. Darkness comes with a quiet promise. I bring to you a line I carry to bed. God's compassions are new each morning. I say it slowly. Let it land like dew on a leaf. The thought settles the chest. Night is a place for small repair. In sleep, muskel loosen. Breath finds a steadier pace. Thoughts untangle where day had knotted them. Dreams become a gentle workshop. In that workshop, broken things are not judged. They are tended. I open the Bible and let a soft passage shape the hour. I do not preach. I read as one who sits by a window and points to the slow light. The passages I choose wrap around the mind like a quilt. They do not weigh, they warm. Imagine a dark room with one thin crack of light along the floor. That crack is morning arriving. It does not push angrily. It widens with patience. The light moves slowly across the rug. The rug is older in places. Threads show where time has rubbed them thin. The light finds each weak place and warms it. Nothing mends in a single motion. The light simply makes repair possible. Dreams do the same. They take the day's ragged edges and place them on a table. There is a soft hammer, a slow stitch, the careful smoothing of a thumb across a seam. In dreams, fear gets a polite distance. Regret sits under a lamp. Hope is allowed to try on new shapes. The night gives trial space without the pressure to produce a finished piece. Breathing helps guide the dream work. Breathe in for 3, hold for 1. Breathe out for 5. With each exhale, imagine a tiny workshop bell ringing and a new tool arriving on the bench. With each inhale, picture a soft glue, a mercy settling where a crack once widened. The body follows the breath. The breath becomes the rhythm of mending. I invite a small image now. See a garden under frost. Tiny shoots lie under the soil. Patient and unseen, a careful hand warms the ground with a thin blanket of straw. Water goes slow but steady. The gardener does not demand a sudden green. The gardener trusts the cycle. Mourning and mercy work like that gardener. Restoration begins below the surface and shows itself when it is ready. There is comfort in gradualness. Restoration rarely comes as a single miracle. More often, it is a series of small mornings. A single soft word. A day without new pain. A brief laugh when memory loosens. These are the stitches that build a healed life over time. Let those small stitches matter tonight. If a wound feels too wide to imagine being closed, try a different image. Picture a mosaic. Tiny fragments lie scattered on a tabletop. Each piece is given a place. Some colors return readily. Some fit awkwardly. The artist does not throw away the odd pieces. Instead, the odd pieces form a pattern that is new and beautiful. Restoration can look different from what was lost. The result can be gentler and truer. I read aloud and let the words shape this work. The scriptures I hold do not erase pain. They sit beside it and say rest. They remind that a steady love keeps tending even when hands weary. Listen to those lines as a calm hand on the back, not a scolding, but a steady presence before sleep. Place a single small hope on the windowsill of the mind. Make it brief. A single line will do healing. Patience. Peace. Fold it like a small paper boat. Watch it breathe in the night air. Do not fill the boat with every need. Let one small hope be enough. Morning has room for many boats. Tonight, one is enough. I tell you this because night can be full of loud bargaining. The mind lists what should have been. It plays scenes on repeat. When that happens, do not fight hard. Offer a practice instead. Name one regret in 3 words or fewer. Say it once inwardly. Then breathe and imagine setting it on a bench. Leave it there. Promise to return to it in daylight if needed. For now, give the bench a job. Let it hold what is too heavy to carry right now. Gentle hope grows where mercy is steady. Picture a slow stream running over stones. The stones do not vanish. Their edges soften. The stream does not demand they change faster than they can. Over seasons, the stones become rounder. The stream repeats its motion. Restoration is like that, not an erasure, but a shaping. There is also a practical tenderness. Keep a small lamp by the bed. Let it be soft and steady. Let its presence be a reminder that light returns. A lamp is a simple promise that the dark is not permanent. The Bible does not promise that troubles will vanish. It promises that morning renews. Let that promise be your lamp tonight. If dreams bring images you do not like, do not chase them. Watch them as if from an upstairs window. Notice color and motion. Let them float by. Return to the breath. Return to a chosen image of repair. A garden. A mosaic. A stream. The mind will find its way back with patient repetition. Rest also receives acts of kindness. If someone has been gentle to you today, one small act of service. A brief word hold it in the hands of thought. Let it warm the chest like a small ember. Gratitude is not a balancing ledger. It simply makes the night easier to walk through. I keep my voice low as I read. The passages I share are chosen to be a balm, not a test. They remind that God's faithfulness is like morning's arrival. The steadfast love is not a distant idea. It is a present pattern. Let it be close enough to notice. Dreams of restoration are not vain wishes. They are rehearsals in the quiet. The heart practices new gestures. In the night, the mind experiments with kinder stories. In the soft hours, courage might be born that is too shy to begin in the noisy day. Honor these small rehearsals. They matter. If sleep comes, let these images move with you. If wakefulness continues, remain patient. Repeat the breathing. Repeat the one small hope on the windowsill. Return to the image of the steady stream. Each repetition is a small act of trust. I place a short prayer in the hush now. Not ornate, not long. A single request: let restoration begin in the small places tonight. Let morning find what needs mending. Let mercy be present where fear sits. Speak it once inside and let the breath carry it. Before I close the Bible, I read one last line softly and let it rest like a shawl across the shoulders. The promise of new mercies each morning is not a push to hurry healing. It is permission to expect renewal. Accept that permission tonight. I will come back with more gentle words in the next part. For now, let the workshop of dreams do its quiet work. Lay the single hope on the windowsill. Breathe. Trust the slow light. Sleep in that promise of morning. I open the Bible and let my hand rest on a small book of simple stories. Tonight, I do not read long passages. I tell a short tale that has kept me calm in many nights. It is the story of a mustard seed. I paraphrase it. Gentle and plain, the parable speaks of tiny beginnings that grow into sheltering things. I bring it now to the bedside like a soft lantern. Listen while the room stays still. Picture a seed no larger than a speck. It fits easily on the tip of a finger. It is unremarkable in size. It is ordinary in color. If examined quickly, it might be missed. Often what is most powerful arrives without fanfare. Imagine a hand placing that seed into cool earth. The ground accepts it with no questions. Soil closes around the small thing and hushes it with damp warmth. Night comes, and with it a small patter of rain. The seed rests. The rain is not dramatic. It is patient, like someone returning to check a lamp that burns low. Heat and cool trade places over the soil. Seasons begin their slow work. Roots start as thin threads. They do not shout. They move in silence, finding small paths, threading through dark pockets of earth. Roots twist around pebbles. They tuck into tiny crevices and hold on. Growth happens mostly beneath sight. The first green that reaches up is a modest sprout. It is thin and delicate. It trembles in the wind. Yet the sprout reaches for light with a steady intent. Day by day the sprout thickens. It learns to stand. Rain and sun shape it. Frost teaches patience. Summer teaches abundance. Each season leaves a memory in the wood. Branches begin to form. They are not many at first. They look like the careful hands of someone who mends cloth. Over years the branches spread, some bent low, some lift up. Birds begin to notice. A small bird may come to test the leaves. It flutters. It paces the branch. Another arrives. They sing, low and spare. They probe the crevices for insects and for space. Before long, twigs become safe places. Tiny nests appear. The tree has become what the seed quietly promised long ago, a place of cover and rest. The same humble speck has become a refuge for many. Hear this as more than a story about plants. Hear it as a picture of mercy, a small kindness, a brief prayer, a single act of forgiveness. Any of these is a seed. They are tiny. They may be forgotten by morning, yet they go into a soil that remembers. Time and tenderness do the rest. In the hush, consider planting one of those seeds. Choose something small, perhaps a short wish for someone else, perhaps a single soft word offered inwardly: mercy, peace, patience. Fold that word into the quiet, like a seed into the palm. Breathe with it. With each inhale, imagine drawing a little moisture into the seed. With each exhale, imagine the soil closing gently over it. The breath becomes the rain. The breath keeps a steady rhythm. It is enough. The growth that follows does not demand spectacle. It is patient. It can be slow and quiet. Some nights nothing seems to change. Some mornings the small shoot is barely larger than before. That is not failure. It is the way life alters shape. Roots thicken where you cannot see. Strength collects out of sight. One day you will notice a branch that was not there before. you will notice a shelter that did not exist. The process rewards steady care more than impatience. A mustard tree in the parable becomes large enough for birds to nest in its shade. That image matters. It is not about size for its own sake. It is about purpose to offer refuge, to hold the small and weary. Consider what small things might grow into shelter in your life. That single prayer said tonight may grow into courage tomorrow. A tiny act of mercy may bend into a habit that steadies days to come. A brief choice to stop arguing with the mind about its anxieties may ease the chest enough to invite real rest. Trust often begins like a seed. Faith need not be grand to be real. A small trust, a quiet, leaning toward the steady presence, proves sufficient. It is not a demand for certainty. It is a willingness to begin. Plant that willingness in the dark soil of the night. Let it be small. Let it be simple. The voice beside you is steady and reads the old stories, not to test you, but to give you a pattern to hold. Imagine now a garden of tiny acts, a neighbor who brings bread, a phone call returned, a short note left on a nightstand. These are seeds, too. Over months and years they become a grove of small trees. Each tree holds its own birds. Each tree shades a little patch of yard. The landscape changes, not by one sudden blow, but by repeated, patient layering. There are nights when doubt stands in the doorway. It says the seed is too small. It counts the lack of immediate proof. It measures with a hard thumb. Do not be harsh with such doubt. Offer it instead a seat by the window. Let the seed rest in the soil. Keep watering with breath. Keep tending with simple acts. Remember that the deepest work of growth goes on where eyes cannot see. If fatigue presses at the shoulders, or regret curls like a thin vine, imagine laying them beneath the spreading branch. Picture the seed that became a tree bending a limb like an arm. Let the limb hold the tiredness for a while. This is not a magic trick. It is a way of seeing mercy as something that can bear weight. Let the tree be a proof that small things can support more than their size suggests. Do one practical thing tonight. Choose a single seed to plant in the mind. Make it brief and concrete. Perhaps a sentence, may mercy grow here. Perhaps a small act. Tuck a short thought of forgiveness into the palm and close the fingers. Breathe with intention 3 times. Let the seed settle into a quiet place. Then release it without pressing. Leave it to the dark and the dew. Hold the parable, not as a test of worth, but as a reminder of process. The kingdom of goodness. The safety of mercy. The shelter of care. These things grow by small beginnings. They take winters. They need patient watering. They need quiet, tending. They do not require demonstration for all to see. They require persistence. Now, let the eyes soften. Imagine the seed under soil and the small green emerging. Feel the breath move like rain. Sense the steady presence as the wind that does not harm, but helps to cool a hot day. Let the mind accept the simple fact that growth prefers low noise and steady care. Before sleep arrives completely, offer a short blessing in your heart. Bless the tiny seed you have planted. Bless the patient work that follows. Thank the quiet that lets a small thing take root. Trust that the tree will grow in ways you cannot yet measure. Allow the image of birds finding rest under its branches to comfort you. Picture them light and gentle, finding shade and nesting close together. I close the book softly now. My voice stays low. The evening keeps its slow rhythm. Tomorrow will come with its light and its tasks. Tonight, plant one small seed. Let it rest in the dark. Let the night do the patient work. Mercy often starts in a place that seems too small to matter. It grows into something wide enough to shelter many. When ready, close the eyes. Keep the breathing slow and steady. I remain here, reading the old words and telling a small story. I will return with another soft passage in the next part. For now, let the mustard seed rest in the earth of your heart. Let the tiny green be enough. Let the promise of quiet growth carry you towards sleep. I sit with the book open and the lamp low. I am the one who reads these pages before you sleep. My voice stays small. My hand rests on the paper where I have marked a short line to carry tonight. I invite you to a gentle surrender. Surrender is not defeat. It is a soft lowering of the arms. It is the choice to stop carrying alone for a season. I say this simply. The room listens. I breathe with you. Inhale slowly. Hold a quiet second. Exhale, and let a small weight slide from the chest. Do this twice more. Each exhale is a tiny giving. Each giving is enough. I speak a truth I try to live by. I trust the Lord with my whole heart. I do not rely on my own cleverness to solve every night. I let that sentence be simple and true, saying it is a small act. It is not a performance. It is a decision. Trust often looks like small, ordinary things. It looks like laying a heavy coat on a chair and leaving it there. It looks like opening a door you have kept closed and stepping through. It looks like handing someone a map and saying, I will follow where you lead. These actions feel brave because they let something else carry the direction. I do not pretend the path is clear. I do not ask you to understand all the steps. I only invite attention to one thing you can do now. Name one small burden. Make it brief in the mind. It could be a single worry, a name, a regret. Hold it up lightly. I will help you set it down. Imagine a small wooden table beside the bed. The table is plain. It is steady. Place the named burden there. Do it slowly, as if you set down a cup. Feel the relief of that simple motion. You do not erase the burden. You simply change its position for the night. I read the scriptures aloud, not to overwhelm. I read them to steady the room. The words I choose remind me to trust and to lean on a steadier hand than my own. Trust does not mean I understand every current. Trust means I let a trustworthy presence guide the boat. Vulnerability lives in the letting go. It feels like opening the hand you have clenched for too long. It feels risky at first. Letting go is soft work. It often begins with a small unbuttoning. I unfasten the top button of my coat in the quiet. The action is gentle. It changes how my shoulders sit. Practice with me now. Place your hands in your lap. Feel their warmth. Soften the jaw. Let the tongue rest low in the mouth. Breathe in. Send that breath to the place where you hold a tightness. Breathe out and imagine the hands loosening a little. The body listens to these motions. It responds in small, welcome ways. Trust asks for surrender of knowing, not surrender of care. I still care about tomorrow. I still plan in small ways. But tonight I choose to stop demanding a full map. I hand a folded glimpse of my plan to the one I trust. The map does not have to be perfect for rest to begin. There is courage in admitting we do not have all the answers. Admitting opens room for mercy. Mercy arribis coeli. It does not lecture. It takes a seat at the edge of the bed. It breathes in time with us. It lets us be small and whole at once. Think of surrender like loosening a sail. A taut sail strains the mast. It fights the wind and wears the line thin. Loosen the sail a little. Let the wind move around you instead of against you. The boat steadies. The sea stays the sea. But the motion becomes easier to bear. I read a short paraphrase that stays with me. Trust with the whole heart. Do not rest on your own understanding alone. Let the path become known one step at a time. When I say those lines, I am not asking for blind faith. I am asking for a willingness to step with a gentle hand on the tiller and a softer hand in that steadier presence. If courage feels small, begin with a tiny act of surrender. Choose one chore to stop carrying tonight. Maybe it is a worry about a call that will wait until morning. Maybe it is a promise. You cannot keep this hour. Set that small item on the bedside table and close the lid in the imagination. The lid is not denial. It is permission. I keep the sentences short because the hour needs a low rhythm. Long arguments wake the mind. Short truths settle it. Trust is a short truth. Surrender is a short action. Mercy meets them both in the quiet. There are practical tools I use. A simple phrase in the mind. I say I trust. I release. I rest. Repeat it slowly 3 times. Let the phrase be a soft mantra for the chest. It is not a spell. It is a habit of the heart. Habit shape where the soul rests. Vulnerability also asks for boundaries. Surrendering to another does not mean opening every gate. It means letting down the heavy drawbridge for a time while keeping watch elsewhere. Tell one inner boundary. Tonight I will carry only what I must. The rest I place gently aside. Forgiveness sometimes sits under the weight we hold. If a memory presses, name it and then hand it to the steadier presence. Do not replay the scene. Hand it like a folded paper. Trust that the one who knows it already knows how to hold it better than you can while you sleep. I remind myself often that trust grows with small, repeated acts. One night of release does not end every storm. It only begins a practice. Each time the hand opens, surrender becomes less sharp. The chest eases more readily. Over weeks and months, the habit becomes a refuge. If tears come, let them. They are not failure. They are honest water. Let them be part of the release. If there is numbness, let that be accepted too. Surrender wears many faces. The heart learns to be tender with whatever appears. I place my palm briefly over the Bible on my lap. I pray not with ornate language. I give a short request into the quiet. Help me trust when I cannot see. Help me lay down what I cannot bear alone. Keep me close when the road feels thin. The prayer is like a soft key left on the table of the heart. Now choose to close the eyes or to keep them half open with the lamp, a soft glow. Either way, let the final motion be a surrender. Let the shoulders lower. Let the hands rest open on the sheets. Imagine handing the day and its heavy things to a caretaker who knows the way of nights. I will read again tomorrow, and the nights after, I will bring verses that steady, images that warm, and a voice that keeps its pace slow. For now, accept the invitation to surrender. It is not a dramatic command. It is a gentle offering. Take it like a small cup of warm tea. Before I leave this part of the night, I offer a brief blessing. May trust grow quietly in the chest. May surrender be kinder than you expect. May sleep come with mercy at its side. Rest. Now, let the breath take you inward. I will stay here reading softly until the room sighs easier and the night holds you with gentle hands. I remember the promise I read earlier. James says that if wisdom is wanted, it may be asked for. The idea is simple. Ask and receive. The giver moves quietly and generously. There is no harsh finding fault. That thought stays with me tonight like a small lantern. I sit with the Bible in my lap. The pages are soft from many turns. My voice is low. I do not offer clever arguments. I offer a practice. I offer an open hand. I remind you, gently, that asking for wisdom is not a show. It is a small, brave act at the bedside. Begin with the breath. Breathe in slowly. Count to 3. Hold a gentle beat. Breathe out longer. Count to 5. Let the body follow the rhythm. Let the mind rest on the cadence. Each breath becomes a tiny door between worry and trust. Name one place where wisdom is needed. Keep it small. A choice about tomorrow. A hard word to speak. A decision that feels foggy. Say the need once in the mind. Do not argue about it. Do not list all the reasons. State it simply, and then breathe into it. I lift a quiet image for this asking. Picture a well in the center of a small courtyard. The well is simple. Its stone edges are worn smooth. Above it a lamp hangs. Thin and steady. Throw in a coin of honest need. The water below is not shallow. It holds depths that do not shout. When the coin drops, the water makes a soft sound. The well receives without judging the coin's size or shine. Ask aloud if that helps. I often do. The voice is small. I say one sentence that is not fancy. I ask for wisdom about the one thing named. I do not rehearse explanations. I hand the question over in a plain phrase. The act matters more than the words. There is a tenderness in the asking. God gives generously. The text says, generosity here is like a bowl left at the bedside and filled overnight. You do not need to answer every test. Now, the bowl accepts what is brought. It holds more than expected. This is the posture I try to take in prayer, hands open. Not grasping. If doubt arises, notice it. Doubt often comes as a small chill. Do not chase it with fear. Place it on the edge of the table of thought. Look at it. Then let it be. Return to the breath. Return to the image of the well. Trust does not require removing every shadow. It asks for a steady step toward asking despite the shadow. Wisdom sometimes comes in the morning. It may arrive as a clear thought when waking. It may come as a person who speaks a single timely sentence. It may come as a slow rearrangement of feelings. Expect small gifts more than sudden thunder. The generous giver is patient and subtle. The reply often looks like a softer heart or a clearer sense of direction. Here is another quiet practice. Take a small piece of paper. Write one word or one brief question. Fold it once and place it under the pillow or beside the Bible. The paper is a small covenant. It says you have handed this over for the night. In the morning, do not demand a dramatic answer. Check gently. Let the matter continue to be tended. I remind you that asking does not mean being perfect. It does not mean that every misstep is forgiven because asking happened. It means that mercy is present while choices are being made. The giver meets the one who asks, not the one who pretends to have it all together. That has been a steady comfort for me in many long nights. There is a kind of wisdom that is practical. It helps to see one small next step. It makes tasks manageable. Practice asking for one small next step rather than a full blueprint. A single clear next act is often all the mind can hold at midnight. Let that small direction be the lamp on the path. Follow it tomorrow. See how the path widens after a few faithful steps. If anxiety presses when wisdom is absent, use the strength of routine. Remind the self that decision is not always urgent. Some things can rest until morning. Others may need a gentle action. Now send a short note. Set a timer. Make a list of 2 options. Small concrete acts reduce the pressure on the need for instant clarity. I read from the Bible with this tone in mind. The passages are not long lectures. They are lanterns. They tell of a God who hears the honest cry of the mind. They show that wisdom is given in proportion to seeking and needing. They do not pile shame on hesitation. They offer a generous, welcoming hand. Rest also fosters wisdom. Sleep rearranges thought. In the quiet repair of the night, the mind sometimes sorts what the day could not. Let the night do its work. Protect sleep as a place where clarity can be born. Keep the phone off. Keep the lamp low. Trust that rest is part of the path toward clearer sight. Now let the asking become a short ritual. Place both hands lightly over the chest. Breathe slowly 3 times. On the first inhale, say inwardly, "Show me." Gently. On the next exhale, imagine light gathering in the center of the chest. On the third inhale, hold the light. On the third exhale, release the named need into it. The motion is small. It is steady. It is enough for this hour. I fold this practice into a brief prayer. Not long, not ornate. One honest sentence is enough. Ask for wisdom. Ask for clarity. Ask for patient direction. Ask to be given the next small step. Let the prayer be an offering, not a bargaining. As the asking rests, remember mercy. The giver does not find fault. That line is central. If mistakes are present, they do not disqualify the one asking. If shame lingers, it is not the last word. The promise offers a way forward because the offer itself is generous. I close this part with a soft image. Picture the well again. Above it, the lamp glows. The coins of need rest beneath the water. A small tug of light leads a thread up from the depth. Draw nearer to that thread with the quiet of your breath. Take the small step you can see. Let the rest be patient. And let wisdom come in its gentle time. Now I move to a final blessing. The room is very still. The lamp throws a warm circle. My voice is softer now. I fold the night's images into a short set of wishes. May wisdom come gently where confusion sits. May mercy cover the places that feel raw. May rest find the bones and lay itself down like a soft weight. May morning bring a small, practical clarity. May courage arrive, quiet and steady, to take the next small step. May peace guard the heart. May hope sit like a small lamp on the windowsill. May kindness be easy to find and easy to give. May the generous hand meet each honest asking without finding fault. May the breath grow long and patient. May the sleep that comes be healing. I close the Bible with care. The pages make a soft sound in the hush. I breathe once and let the room be held in the small circle of light. If waking comes later, return to the well, to the lamp, to the single question under the pillow. Ask again. The promise is not for one night only. It is patient company for many. Lay the head down when ready. Keep the hands open. Let the shoulders release. Trust that the one who gives wisdom does so without sternness. Rest in that knowledge. Let the night do its patient work. Good night. I sit very still tonight. The lamp is lower than usual. The pages of the Bible feel warm under my hand. I do not rush the closing. I let the last sentences breathe. My voice is small. It carries what I have invited for many nights. The tone is steady. The room is kept soft by the thin light and the slow breath of the house. Tonight I offer a few final practices. They are short. They are simple. They are meant to be done with the body and the heart together. First, place the palms gently on the thighs. Feel the slight warmth there. Breathe in slowly for 3 counts. Hold 1 soft beat. Breathe out for 5 counts. Repeat twice. Each cycle is a kind step away from the day's noise. The pace is unhurried. The body answers when the steps are kind. Now draw attention inward. Scan the shoulders for unnecessary weight. Let them drop a little. Soften the back along the spine. Let the neck lengthen. Allow the chin to float up, just a fraction. These are small motions, but they change posture. Comfort follows posture like a friend follows a known path. I speak a short, steady line of remembrance. The gospel keeps returning to the simple fact of presence. Presence is not a loud rescue. It is a steady company. It is closer than a call across a room. It sits down. Breathe slowly beside the weary one. And stays. Think of a warm hearth. The flame is small but constant. It does not burn wild. It keeps the room at an even, safe warmth. That hearth is mercy. Let it warm the chest. Feel the heat behind the sternum. Do not try to define it. Allow the sensation to be enough. I read scripture to you because the words themselves have a texture that quiets. Tonight I keep the reading spare. I choose lines that help the heart unclench. They are not heavy doctrines. They are promises that act like steady lights. They guide without pushing. If a worry rises, imagine writing it on a narrow strip of paper. The script is plain. Fold the paper once. Place it into an envelope of breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slip the envelope into a small box that rests beside the bed of the mind. Close the lid. The box does not destroy the worry. It sets it down for the night. I offer a small act of mercy towards the self. Now, name one thing that feels raw and speak this sentence inwardly. I will be gentle with this. Say it once. Without argument. Let the phrase sit like a soft cloth over the trouble. The act of naming shifts the posture from battle to care. Light can feel like an answer sometimes. Picture a single candle on the windowsill. Its glow is narrow. It traces the edge of the window and then rests. The candle does not chase out all darkness. It marks a boundary. The boundary holds a safe space. Walk toward that small circle with the mind. Let it show a route back to calm. Grace often comes through tiny motions. A note left on a table. A hand that reaches without announcing itself. A dish washed in silence. These are small mercies. They thread the days together. Night is the time when those threads are most visible. Lay them on the heart like a modest quilt. If a memory returns that stings, do not stare. Offer it a short acknowledgement. I see you. Then imagine a gentle path around it. Walk the path once. The memory remains. But it is no longer the only route you can take. The imagination is wide enough for many paths. I remind myself and you of the simplicity of prayer at this hour. A single sentence is enough. I offer short requests, not to bargain, but to turn the face toward a kind presence. Ask for rest. Ask for clarity. Ask forgiveness. Say the sentence quietly and let the breath carry it. There is power in small repetitions. If the mind spins, return to a single comforting phrase. Keep it brief, like a bead on a string. Let the bead move slowly from one hand of thought to the other. The repetition is a slow kind of training. Over time, the mind learns a new way of staying. I also invite a short practice of gratitude before sleep. Think of one small thing that did not have to be true today, but was. Perhaps a clear cup of water, a simple smile, a touch on the shoulder. Hold that one thing and breathe with it 3 times. Gratitude is not a cure-all. It is a gentle counterweight. Now imagine a quiet landscape for a few breaths. A broad field at dusk. Not empty, but still. A single tree stands near the center. A faint breeze moves through its leaves. The tree is patient. It does not hurry the coming dawn. It trusts the rhythm of seasons. Let that trust be the posture you adopt for the night. I speak plainly about hope. Hope here is not a loud claim. It is a small, steady confidence that mercy has already begun its work. It does not depend on immediate proof. It grows through repeated kindness and through restful nights. Let hope be a soft lantern kept at arm's length. If sleep arrives, accept it without insistence. If it does not, keep the breathing and the short images as companions. The night itself can be a tutor. It can teach patience. It can teach persistence. It can teach how to rest with small trust. As I draw this series to a close, I fold the final practice into a blessing. I read the ancient blessing slowly now, and let it settle in the room and in the heart. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. I offer that blessing to you as my own final act of care tonight. Receive it not as a demand, but as a gift. Let the words rest on the chest like a light touch. Let them be the last thing you hear before the lids grow heavy. I breathe with you once more. Inhale slowly. Hold, exhale, and let a long peace spread down through the body. Feel the throat unclench. Feel the shoulders settle. Let the face soften. I do one small thing before I close the book. I place my hand over the pages and feel the slight roughness of the paper. The sound of the cover closing is gentle and final. It is a small punctuation. It marks the safe ending of this hour and of these nights together. There is a purpose to endings. They help the mind tidy. They signal that one part of the day is done and another will come. Let this ending be mindful. Let it be an invitation to rest with a steady hope. Remember that mercy moves quietly. It often arrives in the shape of a slow hand, a steady presence, a prayer said without fanfare. Keep your expectations small for the night. Small is where mercy begins to do its deepest work. I will not speak more now. The lamp is low. The Bible is closed. The blessing has been given. The breath is slow. Rest well. Dear listener, rest in the presence that watches and cares. Rest with a soft promise that morning brings new mercies. Rest with peace. Good night.